This is a video taken in Afghanistan that shows a woman being stoned to death. These images of violence don't come from the Taliban era like most people would imagine. They actually were taken just in the last few years. Women in Afghanistan live in a patriarchal society, where men make all the decisions and women are confined to housework and caring for the children. Even in Kabul, the modern capital, many women walk the streets in burqas. The situation is even worse in rural areas, where tradition is ingrained and culture is difficult to change. It wasn't always this way. In the 1920s, King Amanullah Khan and his queen encouraged women to work, be educated, and even adopt Western dress. He banned many outdated practices, even though they persisted over the bans. When the People's Democratic Party took over in the 70s, marriage, health, and education laws were changed, and women worked as scientists, lawyers, and more. Even in rural areas, things were slowly changing.
Imagine yourself, if you can, living in a country where its people has been living in the war for so long that they have ever known peace, where its culture has been destroyed during the 30 years of war and misery, where you have no freedom of speech and no freedom of choice, where education is denied for women and young girls, where there is no human rights for women, where women are denied basic human needs, where women have no opportunities to make any choices for themselves.
In 1992, the Mujahideen took over, fighting amongst themselves until the Taliban conquered. Then they enforced their interpretation of Islamic law.
Women couldn't come out of their houses, couldn't move around freely and alone.
Women were prohibited from work or study, essentially banished from society, invisible except for the beggars that many of them became.
Since the U.S. invasion in 2001, the situation for women is improved, but is still very oppressive.
For Afghan women, the fall of the Taliban brought historic change.
I want to be a good doctor in the future.
More than 2 million girls are now in school. Some women are able to work, even in the most public of jobs, while others can now enjoy the simple pleasures they were denied. In the cities, a growing number of women cover only their heads instead of their whole bodies. All of this would have been unthinkable under the Taliban.
Starting next month, we will be able to remove 10,000 of our troops from Afghanistan by the end of this year, and we will bring home a total of 33,000 troops by next summer.
Now that the U.S. is leaving, many women fear that the modest gains made in the last few years will be completely taken away.
I'm worried about the fast retreat of the international community here. I fear that the gains that have been made over the last 10 years will be lost if the retreat is too fast. If women's rights get played away at the negotiating table with the insurgents, which is very, very possible, and a lot of the women around us would agree that that is a fear that they have, we could be seeing a return to some pretty troubling times, some pretty terrifying times.
The goal of the United States now is to help women in Afghanistan without a military presence. Programs for basic education, microloans, and awareness about women's rights are all things that the United States can back. These will change cultural perceptions of women, increase their economic stability, and empower them politically. There are many such programs already in existence, and the United States can fund these and create more.
More investments are needed in rebuilding schools, training teachers, and getting communities to buy into the benefits of educating girls.
If you don't have women teachers trained, the girls will not come.
Education gives women the confidence to stand up for themselves, the knowledge needed to work or to go into politics, and can also change cultural perceptions of what is acceptable for a woman, the biggest hindrance to equality in Afghanistan today. Economic programs that give women the opportunity to earn money give them some independence, which earns them respect from the men in the community.
These women are creating what amounts to a tiny cooperative bank in each village and earning a say in household decisions. Farima Begum received a $25 loan from this group to purchase a used sewing machine, and she now sells dresses at a nearby market.
I can say that, yes, my husband has changed. I'm able to come out and meet with men or go and travel, and he's okay with that. So that is change that I've seen in my life.
Programs that encourage women to be politically active and educate them about their rights are also very important and will give Afghan women a voice in shaping their own future.
We have provisions protecting women's rights and promoting women's rights within the Constitution, but it's not translated in action.
Once a week, women in this village have been going to a shura, a women's gathering, to learn about their rights.
It's all because of the shura. We learned some stuff, some knowledge.
Are you and the women around you, do you feel powerful now?
Yes, we feel strong.
These programs help women become aware of what they deserve. When women are politically aware, they can defend themselves against those who would try to silence them and demand the legislation that they need.
Women have the power inside, and they just need to help them and know about their power.
Ultimately, the United States must not give up on the fight for female equality after we pull out our military troops. Microloans, education, and awareness will give women more power to shape their own future. But any and all programs must be designed to empower the Afghan women, not to impose our American ideas onto them. And we must not forget about them.
If I cannot liberate myself, no one from outside can liberate me.